everybody? It's the Rottweiler Patriots. I'm Vegas.
And I'm Tebow.
And we're coming at you with another video today where we're going to be doing our Week 13 Power Rankings. This is where we say who we think are the top 10 teams in the NFL headed into Week 13. Starting off at number 10, we've got ourselves the Houston Texans. The Texans coming off of a tough loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars in which the kicker hit the crossbar on a 58-yard field goal and just missed, would have sent the game into overtime. Texans, though, been a pretty good team. C.J. Stroud playing great football. Couldn't get it done in a must-win divisional matchup game. So chances of winning the division right now aren't great. They need the Jags to drop a few, but they're still playing good football regardless. T-Bone, your thoughts?
Thanks, Vegas. Yeah, no, they're a great team. They're good enough to be in the top 10. I mean, the Jags are a great team too. It's great competition. They just weren't able to beat out the Jags, but they're still very good and they still have a lot of rookie connections, and CJ Stroud is still one of the MVP front runners.
Alrighty, coming in at number 9, we've got ourselves the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags coming off of a slim win over the aforementioned Texans. The margins were very slim, but they're getting it done. The Jags, one of the best records in football, had a bit of a weak schedule, and we would like to see them do a little bit more against a really, really good team. Like, we haven't seen them play a great team yet, but they're still playing good football and winning the games they need to. And that's more than can be said for even some of the elite teams in this league. So, Jags doing what they got to do, looking like they're favorites to win their division. T-Bone, your thoughts?
Oh yeah, no, they look like they are the favorites to win the division, but the Texans could still make some noise if the Jags really don't win out, and start to lose a little bit more. But they just barely are better than the Texans. They're very split. It's a very tight race for the AFC South. They're very good teams all around, solid coaching, solid squad on both sides.
Completely agree. Alrighty, coming in at number 8, we've got ourselves the Denver Broncos. Making their way onto this list for the first time, the Broncos are coming off of a commanding win over the Cleveland Browns, really killing the Browns' hopes of winning their division. Gonna be tough to overcome the Ravens, but the Broncos have completely turned their season around. They're won 5 games in a row now, tied for the Philadelphia Eagles with the longest win streak in the NFL currently, and they're just playing great football. Russell Wilson figuring it out. Courtland Sutton has looked really, really good. Sean Payton done a great job coaching this team out of a hole, and now they're in a position where they could very easily make the playoffs if they continue playing the way they're playing. T-Bone, your thoughts?
If they keep going on this roll, they could definitely make a playoff push. Absolutely, and Russell Wilson is doing what he needs to do. They are really coming together as a team. That this is not the team. Vegas, this is not the same team 5-6 games ago. This is a different team. They're really starting to understand their role as a squad. So that's why they're at number 8.
I mean, yeah, finally made their way onto this list. We were thinking about it the last couple of weeks, but they've clearly shown they're a good football team, and we're really excited to see how well they're able to finish out this season. Alrighty, coming in at number 7, we've got ourselves the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins getting it done against the New York Jets, committing war crimes, I think, although not as bad as they did on Denver. Dolphins continuing to win the games that they need to win with their high-powered offense and able to smother the admittedly lackluster Jets offense. They're doing what they need to do to win the games that they need to win against the bad football teams, but we still haven't seen them. They still don't have a signature win this year. They still haven't really beaten a great team. So we got to see more from them, but they are doing what they need to do to beat up on bad teams, and that alone puts you high up in this league. T-Bone, your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. No, we definitely need to see more from them with positive records. Looking forward to the Cowboys game with them in the near future because that was really going to be the two good teams that beat on bad teams. But obviously, we have to put the Dolphins above the Broncos for the 70-20. But the Dolphins are good. You've got MVP, at least my MVP frontrunner, Tyreek Hill. So they're doing what they need to do, and sometimes that's all you need. They're gonna have to lock in for these next couple of weeks, though, as you only got 6 games left.
Absolutely. And by the way, to all of the people who are like doing the betting odds for the MVP, in what universe is Tua more valuable than Hill to this team? Hill made Tua. End of story. Stop putting Tua in the MVP conversation. He's not that good. Anyways,
see, we have some opinions about Tua, do we?
I keep seeing him for the MVP conversation, and I'm sorry, he's not the most valuable player. You put him on like any other team besides the Dolphins or Eagles, I don't think he does very well.
No, it is Tyreek who is making the Dolphins. You can see Reek's impact with the Dolphins, versus without, because he is the majority of the passing yards with Tua. So it's hopping off the soapbox.
Yep. Alrighty, coming in at number 6, we've got ourselves the Detroit Lions. The Lions fall to the Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving. Not their best day. Had a rough start to the game, early turnovers, were able to fight their way back into it, but ultimately fell just short, and I think a lot of Lions fans are particularly unhappy with the moon right now. But regardless, the Lions still have one of the best records in the entire NFL and look like a very, very good football team that's capable of winning a lot of games. T-Bone, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, the Packers-Lions game was really interesting to watch because you could see the Packers sort of starting to get, I guess, rolling again. That being said, that does not take away from how good the Lions are. Sometimes good teams just have those off games. It's just how it is. And the Lions are a good team. They just need to lock in for the next couple of weeks. As I said, it's nearing the end of the season, so I'm not too worried. But it does drop them. You losing to the Packers does drop you a little.
Completely agree. I mean, there's a little bit of a question of, like, can they beat the elite teams as well, I would say. Because, I mean, there's a little bit of a lingering doubt in my mind, like, if they go up against San Fran, how well are they going to fare? But regardless, there's still a team that wins the games that they should win and is playing great football. Alrighty, coming in at number 5, we've got ourselves the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys coming off of a shellacking of the Washington Commanders, absolutely dominated them completely. Excellent game from Dallas. They continue to put up big numbers against bad teams, which is all you can ask for, except against the Cardinals. I still don't understand that game. I mean, Dallas just looking great. They're an incredibly talented team. Now, again, there's always going to be that question. What about the playoffs? Can they get over the hump? What about their terrible, terrible coaching? Because, yes, Mike McCarthy is awful. But they're still one of the most loaded rosters in this league, and that alone will take you very far. T-Bone, your thoughts?
No, talent will take you far. It will. It won't take you all the way, but it can take you far. So it's going to be, you got to watch out for the Cowboys. They're really making noise. Now, obviously, it comes to questions kind of with the Dolphins about good teams versus bad teams, and obviously we both have opinions about Mike McCarthy, but obviously they have been performing well enough to be one of the top 5 spots overall, around, I would say this season, but definitely this week they have earned their spot, because even though you're beating on the Commanders, dropping 45 is no easy feat.
Alrighty, coming in at number 4, we've got ourselves the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs coming off of a win over the Las Vegas Raiders, in which had a bit of a rough start, went down 14-0, but at the end of the day got the job done 31-17, went on a 31-3 run over the course of the rest of the game. What is it with the Chiefs and looking awful in the first quarter and then massacring a team for the rest of the game? I know Houston has had a bad experience with that. But the Chiefs, one of the best teams in the league just because of who they got. Mahomes, Kelsey, Jones, Reed. We're going to beat this drum until it is dust. Because that's just the case with the Chiefs. Now, there are definitely some questions, you know. Offensive side of the ball hasn't looked great. Defensive side looks excellent. Mahomes has been a bit shaky this year. He's definitely not the clear-cut MVP. He's not my MVP, although I don't have an MVP. I don't think anyone deserves it. But regardless, Chiefs still a very good football team and very difficult for anybody to beat. T-Bone, your thoughts?
I have several thoughts on this. I think that because evidently Mahomes was AFC Offensive Player of the Week, and I don't think that should have been the case. I think that there may be a narrative to push Mahomes as the MVP. I think this is a great team. I do. I think it's worth to be in the top 5. They are a really great team. Got a lot of good offensive and defensive players, except for wide receivers. They really need some help there. Maybe call Des Bryant. I don't know. But I have a couple of MVP frontrunners, but I do not think that Mahomes nor any of the quarterbacks should win it this year. And if there was going to be a quarterback to win it, I don't think Mahomes should. And I think depending on who actually wins MVP versus Offensive Player of the Year is going to be very telling. That being said, hopping off the soapbox, I mean, the Chiefs are just good. You know, they have some wideout problems, but I mean, you have such great players, like, you know, as Vegas said. So that is why they are here.
I mean, completely agree. Not much else to be said about Kansas City. They're a great team, tough to beat, even when it looks like they're on a down year. Alrighty, coming in at number 3, we've got ourselves the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens coming off of a win over the Los Angeles Chargers, in which it looked a little bit ugly. Offense didn't put up as many points as they would have liked, but Zay Flowers, unfortunately for my fantasy, had a really, really good day for Baltimore and was able to do enough to get them the win. They continue to win a lot of football games and look really good in spite of their injuries. So, excited to see what the Ravens are able to do. T-Bone, your thoughts?
I really am excited too. Now, I mean, obviously, I feel like they are feeling that Mark Andrews injury, but Zay Flowers, fortunately for my fantasy team, is doing just fine. So, I mean, look, they are performing well. Lamar is one of the people that should be possibly considered the MVP. Not my number one guy, but yeah, the Ravens, they're just performing very, very well despite, you know, injuries that they've dealt with, Dobbins and Andrews and all that.
I mean, yeah, the Ravens just doing a good job. This is like the first year, we've said this before, we'll say it again, this is like the first year it feels like they're able to overcome all of the injuries that they've had, and credit to them. Any team that's able to do that is deep and talented, and we're really excited to see how they fare, especially going into the postseason that's going to be really and truly wide open for anyone. Alrighty, coming in at number 2, we've got ourselves the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners beat up on the Seahawks this week, 31-13, continuing to win football games and look like one of the best teams in the NFL. Very deep on both sides of the ball, lots of weapons on offense and defense. I mean, they've just been so good this year, as long as they're healthy. We saw a little earlier this year, they get the injury bug, they have a few questions. But if they're a healthy team, there's almost no one that can stop them. T-Bone, your thoughts?
No, once they're fully healthy and feeling themselves, there's not much getting in their way, and that's really what it is. You know, they had a couple of hiccup games, but really they have just proven how talented they are. And Brock Purdy has proven that he is not just a system quarterback. He's showed out a little bit, you know. So with that in mind, I'd like to go back to what you said. This is definitely is going to be a wide open season. There's not really a lot of point to the guys and go, oh yeah, they're going all the way. I mean, there's a couple of them, but really this has been a very mediocre year. Someone famous just said that in the media. But anyways, that is why that they are number 2.
Absolutely. Really excited to see what they're able to do headed forward. And coming in at number 1, we've got ourselves the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles coming off of a comeback win over the Buffalo Bills, in which they had it a bit rough in the first half, but were able to chip away and make a comeback, tie the game in the second half, off the back of a Jake Elliott 59-yard field goal in the rain and wind, and it was just a beautiful kick. One of the most impressive kicks probably in the history of the NFL. Able to send the Eagles to overtime. Their defense got to stop, and Jalen Hurts did the rest. This is a scary, scary looking team. The most consistent team in the NFL, and this year, consistency is an especially rare trait. So if you're able to be consistent like the Eagles have been, you're going to go very, very far. T-Bone, your thoughts?
Oh, big time. I completely agree. And I mean, if you look at it, you've got great offensive weapons. You've got great defensive weapons. You've got great offensive line. And furthermore, this is really showing Jake Elliott's a great kicker, a great special teamer. So they've hit all 3 bases, and they have all 3 great bases. They've got a good defense, good offense, good special teams. This is going to be a team that will make moves. Also, apologies for the nasally voice. You know, it's allergy season, so I hope that doesn't disrupt your listening pleasure, folks.
It's all good, T-Bone. I don't think people care as much as long as the football analysis is quality. That's what we care about here at the Rottweiler Patriots. Anyway, yeah, I mean, excited to see what the Eagles are able to do. I mean, I hate the Philadelphia Eagles as an organization, but I gotta respect them for what they do. And at the end of the day, good football is exciting, and there ain't a lot of it left in the league. Alrighty, that is going to round out our top 10 for this week. Coming in at number 10, we've got the Texans. Number 9, the Jaguars. Number 8, the Broncos. Number 7, the Dolphins. Number 6, the Lions. Number 5, the Cowboys. Number 4, the Chiefs. Number 3, the Ravens. Number 2, the 49ers. And number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. Please be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Feel free to drop your own top 10 or anything else you'd like. We would love to hear what you all have to say. And that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all so very much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to subscribe. And we will see you all in the next video.